Good morning and welcome to KiChats. This morning I have with me Tom Cronin from the Science of Stillness. Hi Tom, how are you this morning?
I'm great, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Tom, we're talking about fatigue this week and how that represents and shows and manifests itself in the body. How does meditation help relieve fatigue?
I guess it works on a couple of levels. First and foremost, it allows you to sleep a lot better. One of the great impediments we have to having a good night's sleep is the amount of stimulation in our nervous system and the conditioned activity within the mind. We're just having around 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and that's just having to process so much data. And so it's like that little mouse on the treadmill. It's just constantly ticking over at an incredible rate of speed. So when we actually go to sleep at night, or we intend to sleep at night, one thing that's happening is that we're not really getting very efficient, effective sleep. And the system is very stimulated and the mind is very active. So most of us are having quite a poor sleep with lots of activity going on during our sleep process. And so meditation allows us to quieten that mind down in segments in the day, so morning and evening, by putting aside a period of time to de-excite that mind and allow it to just quieten down. What happens? We get a master of being able to have authority over our mind rather than our mind having authority over us. So when we do eventually put our head on the pillow, we have this ability to actually have an authority over the mind and say, okay, at this point in time, it's time we just go quiet and I'm going to get to sleep. And then we can drop naturally to sleep. And, I was an insomniac for years and, it wasn't until I started meditating that I actually started to get a really effective 8-hour sleep, which made such a difference in my life.
Wow.
Sorry,
no, keep going, please.
The other benefit with meditation on assisting in the fatigue situation is that 20 minutes of the meditation that I teach, the stillness sessions, it's been equivalent to about 4 hours worth of sleep.
Right.
And they did these studies at Berkeley University and they found that measuring a person's level of rest using EEGs and pulse rate, breath rate, skin elasticity, blood lactate levels. And what they found was that the level of rest achieved in a 20-minute stillness session was around 4 hours worth of sleep. It was a very deep level of rest.
Wow.
And what that's doing there is that it's allowing us to have the amount of demands that we have in our day, but also balance that out with the equivalent amount of rest. A good sound 8 hours sleep, equivalent of 4 hours sleep in the morning through a 20-minute meditation, and another equivalent of 4 hours sleep in the afternoon due to another meditation. What we have there is finally some balance, because we have increased the levels of demands that we're taking on in our day, but we're not increasing the rest. In fact, we're having less and less rest. So what we're getting is a very distorted state here with way too much activity and very little rest. And what meditation does, it allows us to bring a little bit more balance back in the rest versus demand situation.
Right. So I guess that with all of the physical and the mental demands of today's world and society, and especially in the corporate world too, that meditation would offer that ability to just, as you say, like just quieten the mind and bring it back down into a state of peace.
Yeah, it's just great in the corporate sector. For me, I was a broker in finance for 26 years, and I would leave a hectic, manic trading room floor and duck into the boardroom and do 20 minutes worth of meditation, go into a really beautiful, deep state of transcendence, and repair my body from all of that demand that I'd been through in the day, and then come back out into work already to go out to a meeting or a dinner or something like that at the end of the day. Very restorative, amazing experience.
Yeah, I guess too, like there's also that emotional fatigue as well that we have, where if we're constantly like negative self-talking and negative gearing like our motivations as far as like I can't do this or what about that, and constantly projecting into the future as well, then that's a point where meditation can also help in just releasing and relieving that state, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And we just naturally start to live more in the present. And when we live in the present, there's absolutely no stress. When we're in the present, we're just taking in the world through our senses. And the mind, which normally projects into the future or into the past, becomes a lot more restful. And we experience the world through the delicious nectar of the senses, which is just about being now.
Yeah, perfect. Tom, thank you so much for joining us this week and discussing fatigue and the benefits of meditation, and especially the stillness meditation that you teach. We look forward to talking to you again next week.
My pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.